course, I was prepared. So the reason why I believe the right to an abortion, why just anyone, if you feel that's what you need to do, then you should do it. Because Matthew 7:1 says, do not judge or you too will be judged. Although Jesus does tell us to tell people, do not sin, it's not our place to judge them. And then another thing that I wanted to bring up, this is crazy. But also the time, I just really want to know why you feel that abortion should be illegal.
Do you think murder should be illegal?
Murder is illegal.
So you think it should be? You think it should be illegal?
Maybe the P word is just my cross to carry. For over 17 years, I really believe that this was a...
Now, actually, this is probably a bigger one you hear in our culture. You ought not judge. Jesus said, don't judge. Why are you judging, you hypocrites? All right, first of all, let's leave Jesus aside for just a second. What's the problem logically with the claim? Somebody says you ought not judge, you're going to say, isn't that a judgment? Or you might want to say, if we're not to judge, then why are you judging me for judging? But wait a minute, didn't Jesus say don't judge? Nope, never said it. Sure he did, Frank. He said it in Matthew chapter 7, verse 1, the Sermon on the Mount. This is his most well-known sermon. All right, I know it's going to sound odd for just a minute, but stick with me. There are no verses in the Bible. There are no verses in the Bible. I mean, when Matthew was writing his biography, which we now call a gospel, do you think he said, here's chapter 7, verse 1? No, when were the chapter and verse divisions put in? About 500 years ago to help us navigate the text, which is important, right? It'd be really hard to find your way around this big series of books, or this big series of books we put under one binding, if you didn't have numbers. I mean, imagine if you didn't have numbers in your Bible and Pastor Jack didn't have numbers in his, and one Sunday morning he just got up with this big book and he opened it and he looked at you and he went, let's go about 2/3 of the way in, let's see if we can find the same spot, right? Like, you couldn't do that, right? You need numbers to try and find your way around. The problem is we tend to think if it's got a number in front of it, we can take it out and make it say whatever we want. We can't. We need to read around the passage to see what's going on. Did Jesus just say, judge not, and he stopped right there? No, he said, judge not, lest you be judged. By the same standard you judge others, you be judged by that standard. So before you try and take the speck out of your brother's eye, you hypocrite, notice that's a judgment, you hypocrite, take the log out of your own eye first, then you'll be better able to help your brother. Then he goes on to talk about don't cast your pearls before swine, which requires another series of judgments. Is Jesus telling us not to judge here? No, he's telling us to take the speck out of our brother's eye. That involves making a judgment. He's simply saying, get that problem out of your life first so you can better help your brother. So this is not a command not to judge. It's actually a command on how to judge. Don't judge hypocritically. If you've got that problem, fix it, then go help your brother. It would be completely ridiculous to say don't make judgments. Number one, it's a judgment itself. Number two, you'd be dead already if you didn't make judgments. You made 100 judgments this morning just getting over here. And now you're going, this was a bad judgment. This guy's crazy. Where's Pastor Jack? Everybody atheists make judgments. They judge there's no God.